Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing the Audemars Piguet, the Royal Oak 15202ST, the extra thin and the closest living descendant of the 1972 Gerald Genta prototypes. This is truly the 39mm ultra thin Royal Oak of your dreams. If you were to meet the Beatles, you'd probably want to meet John Lennon or Paul McCartney. And if you're going to wear just one Audemars Piguet, this is the Audemars Piguet and the Royal Oak. So the watch, 39mm, is a superstar, 8mm thick. AP claims 8.1. I measure it thinner than that with my calipers. 39mm, a wonderfully versatile size, fitting easily on my 16cm circumference wrist. That said, every Royal Oak wears a little bit larger than its nominal size. This watch wears like a 41, and lug-to-lug, it's 48.6mm if you include these double plot end links, which do have a bit of rigidity to them, as you can see. It's actually a more robust 51.8mm across the wrist, so this actually wears sort of like a 41mm conventional round watch. It is wonderfully slim, however, and beautifully executed. Let's take a look at this one in detail and see what makes a Royal Oak a Royal Oak. Any Royal Oak from AP is going to be hand finished, but as you can see, the detailing on the extra thin is particularly exquisite. That hairline bevel that expands and flares at the ends of the lugs, that runs perfectly aligned, rounded and mirror polished straight down the links. You can see the sharp break between the rounded polished flank of the bezel and the satin finished hoods. You can see as you jump into the bracelet itself that the ends of the intermediate links, the faces of them, are bright polished, and you'll only ever see them glint and gleam as you roll the bracelet through the light. AP is finishing things you can barely see. A beautiful satin finish, perfectly aligned along the links. If you look on the underside, you can see the channels on the bottom are broader than the channels on the top for a reason, and this is ergonomics to avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. Appreciate that unlike Patek Philippe, AP acknowledges that the best arrangement for sizing a bracelet on a luxury product, screws and screw fixed links, no pin sleeves here. There are advantages to buying a newer extra thin rather than one of the older models because the clasps and the bracelet have become more solid and substantial. You could see this would look at home on a 15400 or a 15500, a combination of satin finish and blasted finish. You close it up in the twin trigger system as well as the substantial swing arms and chassis keep it closed. You could see the AP logo plate has been triple finished. It's satin finished on its hood, blasted inside the letters themselves, and then it's beveled and bright polished on its flanks. Nicely executed. Turning back to the case, you can see ultra slim in profile and elegant. It'll absolutely work as a dress watch, but it also has the masculinity, the sports tradition, the steel aesthetic, and the machine derivation to work as a sports watch. And you can see how perfectly finished these hand-applied bevels are. They're micrometrically identical from side to side, and the same is true of the different facets of the bezel itself. You can see the hexagonal satin finished crown matching perfectly the hexagonal white gold bezel bolts, which are nicely recessed and polished inside the satin finished bezel. Now, of course, the bezel inspired by a Royal Navy warship of the name Royal Oak. That's the nautical porthole origin of the design. But if you get real close, you can see that it's the dial that's the highlight of this watch. It's a petite tapisserie, a pattern of hobnails and intermediate textures that's cut on a pantograph, a 19th century machine that takes an oversized pattern and then inscribes the pattern onto a miniature template, and that miniature template becomes the final dial for your watch. Over the years, the galvanizing on these 15202s has changed a little bit, so the blues do vary, which is why I like to always do a video of the individual unit rather than one to represent the type, because there is some variation. The blue is rare, and there is some year-to-year change in the texture and tone. So you can see this one is an I series, so roughly 2013 to 15, and this is the blue that resulted. You're going to want to loop this dial because the texture that runs across the hobnails and in between is a micro pattern that can only be seen with magnification. 2012, you got a monotone date disc, and the AP logo moved down to 6 o'clock as it was on the original. White gold hands, white gold logos, white gold indices. It is loomed. There will be a loom shot. The watch powered by Audemars Piguet. Let's get as close as we can here because this one deserves its close-up. Audemars Piguet caliber 2121. It's based on the ancient JLC 920 Bausch that was created for Vacheron, AP, and Patek Philippe back in 1967. It's only ever been used by Patek, Vacheron, and AP, never in a JLC, and today only Vacheron and AP still use it. Exquisite. 36 jewels, hand-finished, handmade. Not all AP Royal Oak movements are hand-finished to this extent. Here's where you'll see the black polished screw heads with chamfered slots, the mirrored anglage, the real deal, the engraved rotor. All of this executed on top of a movement that's only 3.05 millimeters thick. That's the advantage of the 2120. It's super slim. 50 meters water resistant, but with a push-down crown, I wouldn't necessarily swim with this one. The automatic winding system for the 40-hour power reserve propels a balance that beats away at 19,800 vibrations per hour. It's very old school. It's also free-sprung using a Gyromax style system, so the multi-position adjustment is retained, and it is a very robust architecture. Although this is a thin high horology watch, the Gyromax system is very secure. Now, there is an annular winding system. You see how there's a winding mass on one side, but there's a little ring that runs all the way around the movement. There are 4 ruby rollers 90 degrees apart that actually support the entire circular rotor, so it can be in the same plane as the other bridges, making the watch almost as thin as if it had a micro rotor system. Beautifully executed, incredibly handsome, and very rare. You'll see fistfuls of offshores, 15300s, 15400s, and the new 15500 for every one of these that you encounter. The watch features a semi-quickset whereby you back the hour hand from 10 p.m. through midnight and advance the date. So it's a little bit archaic, it has a lot of charm, and because of that, immense authenticity. The real Royal Oak, the original Royal Oak, and the defining Audemars Piguet. This is the 15202ST. Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 15202, as you can see, nicely loomed. A sports watch by both day and by night.